Could not be heavy. Okay, we're live streaming now.
Oh, I'm not quite ready yet.
Yeah, I'll snip the top off. It's okay. I cut off the whole thing as soon as I was out. John.
Yes.
Hi. Great. Thanks for being here. Yeah, so
Zaya.
when you were catching up. So I've got your got your budget.
Oh. Yeah, I wasn't sort of thinking about doing that. No, don't worry. I wasn't going to worry about that either. Yeah, so really that slideshow, you're running time.
Did you want me to share it with the?
Oh, yes. So I'm just going to talk a little bit.
Yeah.
Yep.
And ask the questions.
Okay.
Sure.
Unfortunately,
Yep, that's right. I'm just
No, it's okay.
we are live, by the way. So. I sound like a school mom.
2025 then.
Yeah. I'll just go take the one.
Yes.
Who does?
Me.
I'm being confident. Because to get you to come over.
Yes, before we made that good to me, that's why I'm sitting there today, for I'll see you, man. State gave breakfast, so pretty good, it's not spring meeting. Appreciate you, this where you are. Should have been there.
So they will be in there.
Okay. Good evening, committee members, staff and members of the public, and welcome to this meeting of the Māori Standing Committee. Please ensure that your devices, cell phones are either switched off or on silent mode whilst the meeting is in progress. The cell phone interrupts the course of the meeting. We will stop and wait for the device to be muted, and we will stare at you. Okay, recording the meeting. This meeting has been held in the supper room, the Waihinga Centre, Mātamara, on Tuesday, the 30th of July, 2024. Timata 6 p.m. This meeting is being broadcast live on YouTube. In case of an emergency, the exits of this room are the door you came in, with little green boxes, and the door behind me. If we leave to evacuate the building, use the exits and assemble outside in the playground. Please remain at the assembly area until the building has been confirmed clean. In the event we experience any unruly or intimidating behaviour during the meeting, we will adjourn until it is safe for us to reconvene. Members of the committee and staff will leave the room and congregate in the other part of the venue if this action is necessary. The toilets are located in the entrance of the building, that little hallway. Okay, so karakia timatanga. Kia hora te marino, kia whakapapa whaingamu te moana, hei ruarahi mā tātou I te rangi nei, aroha atu, aroha mai. Tātou ia tātou tātou. Huie. Extraordinary business, there is an item of extraordinary business that needs to be added to the agenda. I move that the extraordinary item members report Mayor Martin Connolly be accepted as part of item 10.2, and this report contains important information for the September forum that cannot wait until the next committee meeting. Do I have a second?
Yes.
Joe David. Aye. All those in favour, please carry on. Aye. Anyone against? If they got. The motion is carried. So, are there any apologies? Any more?
Just,
It's Andrea and Rita.
Yeah, then, Karen, yeah.
I've got Andrea in the phone. We do, we have two.
I move that the apology from Andrea to me and Karen Nicola be received. Do I have a, do I have a second that? Do I have that? All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone against? Motion. Are there any conflicts of interest to declare? Not September? Not now. Acknowledgements and tributes, does anyone have any acknowledgements and tributes they would like to make? Yes, Jim Harper. In box. And Harry Tiffany, Tiffany. Tribute.
John.
We had 10 members of the public attending tonight. You had 5 minutes in total, including the questions from the meeting. And Robin is our timekeeper. And she will indicate at 4 minutes and the alarm will go off at 5 minutes. So for your information, in case the speaker goes. Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
So our first person tonight is John Argue from Papua Maha Arara Stream Catchment Group. Good job.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak. As you said, I'm John Oakley, I'm the chair of the Papua Mangarara Catchment Group. And I'm here tonight because we're trying, which is the way it should be. We're not a bank, we're an investment group. We're investing in the stream and in the community. And the money that we have in our bank, we're going to deplete that after we take all our plants and other institutions. If our water is healthy, we're healthy. But I'm reminded of this every time we have a karakia before planting. The water is healthy, we're healthy. And what we're doing with our group is trying to make that water as healthy as possible and restore the stream. The stream is spring fed, and where it comes up out of the ground, it's as clean as you can get. We've had it tested, and it's beautiful, clean water. There are lots of little springs all along the bank, the upper end of the Papua Makarara. But when it flows into the water, it's mixing with things that we don't want in there. There's urban runoff, there's agricultural runoff. And so what we're hoping to do with our planting is reduce that, sorry. I don't know what's done that.
That's what we have.
I put it in water there to keep it alive. I'm just looking for a clock. Yeah.
Yes.
So this is one of our really important allies, the Pukio. Oh, thanks, Robert. And it's, as you can see, it's got very deep roots. And these go down and they hold the bank together, hold the mud together. The roots have a special bacteria that colonise onto the roots, and that strips out all that nitrogen that we don't want in our waterways. So this is a really valuable plant, and you see them growing along our waterways. So we're mass planting those, and then further up the bank, we're putting in manuka. There's a nice healthy manuka, plenty of roots on it. Now both these plants we're buying from Copper Mine Nursery up in Woodville. Now we can get these manuka plant like this for $1 and each, and these plants are $1.75 each. So it's a very good value for money. And so we planted in 5,000 these plants this season. So we then, before we planted, we got a big digger in. It's the same driver and digger that the council's used further down Papua near the Tilson Stream. And so we've used that guy, Adam Herrick, and he cleared all the willow and blackberry, plum, elder, and other weeds that we don't want, and they did a fantastic job. And we've just come in and planted up after it. So that's what we've done this year. And so we and that would go towards hiring the digger again next season, and so for these plants. So I'll leave it there and I'd take questions.
When were you going to source the plants from?
Yeah, so these plants are sourced from Woodville. And up there.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, because I don't really know, it's not much civil, I just want to say, if we were to give you, I'm not saying that, if we were to give you $10,000, we'll definitely want you to spend that money here in Wairarapa, because we already have 2 nurseries here. So if that's what we'd expect if we did give you funding, we wouldn't want you to go outside of Wairarapa, take that money, because that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's just off my head, that bit.
But that's not a stipulation.
That's not a stipulation, just to stop in mind.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. It's great to support those.
So have you been to Mokai to see what their pricings are for grasses? Because they're really great grasses.
I haven't been to that nursery, but I've been to Kotari and looked at their plants. The one in Featherston.
Oh yeah, there's not in a good price range for you. I think we're going to grow grasses down.
Right.
Yeah, that's cool.
And that nursery, the one in Featherston, those beautiful plants.
Yes.
They really are. They're doing a great job. but they're 4 times the price. And they're not only as big as these plants, so.
No difference.
Try to put dollars go as far as they can.
That's right.
And,
That's good.
you know, I'd love to support the locals, but the way they do these plants, they're all bare rooted and done in a paddock. It's a very, very cheap method of growing plants. And yeah, way easier. There's only 2 people running this nursery, husband and wife, and they, I think he told me they put out about 100,000 plants a year. It's quite impressive.
Yeah. No, I would go with it, chicken.
But if that was a stipulation, I would happily go along.
But
with it.
if you see where I'm coming from.
Yes, I do.
I'm going to support my only then go elsewhere, but yeah, that's just from my point of view, it's not the rest of the members.
Yeah. Sharon, it's more like you're at 5 minutes. Yeah.
I have this just what so that's the string that goes behind top line, but line goes across 5 minutes. That goes right. That's the string.
Beautiful.
I recently had a bit of milking along there. Was there something in the stream?
Some discoloration.
Yeah, some discoloration in the stream. That's what I heard. Someone was having a sort of bit of a moan about, oh, what's happened to the stream? And
Yeah, there was not that far.
It's all population.
But when it's water,
oh,
Right.
yeah, nothing about. I love that stream. I've been thinking that since I was a kid.
The water quality's
Yeah.
changed then, but it's good to know that it's not long.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, I've certainly heard of that happening, you know, the dumping of milk in the stream.
I don't know about milk. I just heard it was a milky colour at one time there, and they weren't quite sure, where or why. But I mean, yeah, probably your father's mate.
Yeah. Beautiful.
It's a driveway, he goes home, there will be day.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Sean, and I'm sure they'll get back to you as soon as I have a decision to leave.
Well, thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. Yeah. Be careful with you.
No, it's not, I didn't take it.
John will get it sorted.
It's all right. We've got a month later.
We'll fix it in the brain. It's water.
Not afraid of
And none of us are witches.
These are not the right to that. That was the next Sunday.
Yeah.
So just come on.
Next is Mātua Warren Maxwell, from Puranui College. Kia ora Mātua.
Kia ora, tēnā koutou. Tūtahi, te tino aloha te tino mihi kia koutou. Tū tēnei kōrero kia koutou. Tēnei ka mihi kia koutou te tino uri o Wairarapa. Tēnei ka mihi. Tēnā koe Martin. In this Madam Chair, and now we want. So, see my deck. I don't. Sorry. Yeah. So I will take it that our application has been read. So I've got my Kuranui Kaia for Portai on tonight. I've got heaps of Portai. I can get very confused. Basically, we're here looking for support in procuring new kapahaka uniforms for our corporate. These are our existing ones here. These are some of our wonderful students in our kapahaka group. We have Himi Totua over here from Papawa as well. So basically what's happened is our kapahaka group is just expanded. It's massively gone from, I think, 15
at the most.
fluctuating numbers with our young people to over 50 this year. And tino e tohu pai tērā, tino hiukai o ngā rangata. And really hungry our young ones, especially from our kura, tuatahi. because all our primary schools are really strong and getting stronger and stronger. And so then they come to us and we're like, oh my goodness. So, yeah, basically we just love to, get some uniforms and terms of rangatahi and, but the whole way up, it's, when we're sort of mokopuna, tamariki mokopuna rangatahi centric, that ripples out into our wider community. I love it. Yeah. But that's enough for me. Any other four little over here?
I should.
Oh, right.
Taken Isaac, I'm just here today to talk about what means to me way back when. So it's just a thing that you did because your mum said you had to, but I think moving into Casey's Whakaka, because I'm the one who was joined this year, I think it's a real privilege to be able to represent Kurangui and who we stand for, like Hawaii Marae, Ngāti Kahungunu, Nanekane, and Wairarapa. It's just a really real privilege to form for them, and I think these uniforms will really help with that pride. Yeah.
So, yeah, puna tata, tata. And so, yeah, if there are any questions.
Emma?
Also, my base as I.
Yeah. Just.
And it was like one was had good and idea of the appropriate. I think I would be that person. They believe it or not. So I'm surrounded by ancient, and I'm thinking, I wonder how this is going to go down, and it was just over to see. That's this is a measure of how much there is plans we still, but really young people come in and it does make such a really positive, great impression on the times of brain. And the next time was at the ceremony with the crowd gets the like and on this occasion, I thought there's still a bit of crawl here. Because we're about half a dozen of your guys come out of freezing, like it was cold, and I've got something on. They stand there as a problem. I just for about 6 minutes, and then they find out and they was into it, and my gosh, work so. And so, I think the luckiest people to be have someone like you on their people, and it does take years to come, it's that people, when they say, God will be right. And so,
so these are going towards your uniforms, yeah? Yeah. So is it the bodices and the skirts, or is it peepees involved there? Or are you getting peepees made? Because I know there's lots and lots of made in peepees.
Yeah, that's
So my mum used to do those, and there is a lot of mahi in those, and time taken. So is peepees included in?
That's stage two, yeah. So for this funding round, we're just getting another 25 of these buddy and tato and tea as well.
Oh yeah.
But also we've already actually, because we wanted to be able to look good at Papa Wai the Hoki Mai Te Moana, we already invested in these, so we sort of already spent money that was earmarked, but, you know, because it was worth it. We wanted to look, you know, yeah, and respectable and, you know, have more than, a school uniform, you know, just sort of stand out. So, but the pew will, you're right, they're about $500 each. And
Yeah.
so 50 of those.
We could buy them.
It's just, I understand the money and the cost of it, just, you know, like we like, just as an example, we did shows in Japan when I was young, and we had the wool and the plastic.
Oh,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
the way
yeah.
our people used, because we couldn't afford it. But I'd love to see on the cover, I think, you know, people.
If, oh, well, not there, I mean, imagine, you know, because they were just talking about,
Yeah.
supporting local business, and it wouldn't be amazing if there was some kind of partnership locally.
Yeah, we're going to give you
Making you here.
We have quite a couple of connections with someone that's been on anyways. Yeah, one might want to tell that side, but yeah, we have quite a couple. Since you guys are in school.
To that benefit.
The land was gifted to, in school,
Yeah, beautiful.
from sister. Yes, so that's a very close connection for us, our son, one.
Kia ora. And, you know, one of our desires is to, I would say the school history, and I've only been here for a year and a half, the history's been and so one of our dreams is to, araranga te, you know, ngā wāhi, ngā wāhi, ngā whaku i te kura as well, so, you know, we want to just build, we must all together. Whatever like that, and especially for it's our on the way.
My kids could get involved in like.
There will be an relation like.
You be talking about
There was, yes, why not?
That's it.
Yeah,
It'll become an artist in the whole thing.
That's awesome.
Amazing.
Yeah,
there could be a future plan, okay?
I love it.
It's me that said, I'd love to do that.
Yeah.
We could go on here or we could do something like that, 2 day thing. There'd be no worries. That's in the state, we like your
So they are.
we'll stick to the funds on the table now. Yes,
I know.
you got Lauren's email.
Hard to say. So, I was lucky enough to be one of the kai at the Kumiweka Mahaka when I went there. And it gives you a sense of being able to get up in public,
No.
to be able to speak later on, the learnings that you get to actually do through kapahaka that possibly other areas of your schooling don't cover.
Right.
And so you're filling me with so much joy being here tonight, and I want you all to know how much it means to me, because at the time we just had our school tops and our shirts that we wore. And that we just wore our school uniform, and that was all we had. But there was about between 35 and 40 of us. We had a very strong kapahaka group. And so to know that it's coming back this way again, yeah, so I guess we were lucky, but it was before then, and back where you are now. So I'd love to total for this.
Just a comment I'd like to make regarding also patient. In what extent I feel for my Māori is that bringing a tika, supporting our innovative butterfly. And so the learnings that we're getting stretched through, trying to achieve, to bring our life, our way of living back in focus.
Yeah.
And just the other things to design, obviously the future. So we're just talking about topping up.
Yeah.
What existing.
Yeah, pretty much doubling.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
needs, underneath, but. But you're right, Jackie, one of our favourite things is doing noho. No, Papa, why would love to come to Kohanui and do a noho out there as well.
Yeah.
We get the kids, the kouta, you know, and the wharenui, and just, it's a whole different.
Oh, it's so good, we got Korean, what's
So
in it?
that's the one.
When I looked at all, we got stories, they look like they.
I heard from the Weavers thing they had at the weekend, that business didn't want planted karakiki all over the Wairarapa. So, you know.
Yeah, when colonisation started, she thought that these poor Pākehā, they don't have parakiki. How are they going to weave their blankets and all of that stuff? Because rich to us was making sure you had a healthy parakiki. Because that's what clothed you, that kept you sheltered. That's what made everything. So she planted parakiki even all around our way here. That's why it's just growing wild on the sides of the road. That was down in the Noa keeping
That's
up.
got a very long name.
It's really broken. But
It's just great.
also, you know, it's an amazing, you know, drill and the flex mold. There was a flex mold, a very successful flex mold here for many,
Yeah, what the?
using all that, making ropes, making, you know, so it's such a strong fibre.
Yeah.
And the story of it and how we are.
But something the government want to have, so even for the students, I'd be interested in, yeah, I don't know if we have the knowledge here, but I just remember, you know, a lot of work that went into actually making the pieces and putting some of them, you know.
Yeah, I've already done leaving classes with some of the, so here I live.
Yeah.
We just got, Chris Martin.
Yeah,
coming
so Chris
to-
Martin,
from Hayley Rock. So, you know, because they want to move out now, we can play the kura.
yeah,
So I don't talk about the
yeah, I don't know what's growing.
Ko te rua te roku nei, ko te iti kahurangi o kura. Tēnei ka mi. E nā putu.
Yeah. Mama, you guys for coming and sharing your knowledge and your wants.
Thank you.
Will you just hold it up for me?
Yeah, but what we've been into
It's the ones that were on the picture.
So that's not like the season before of these.
I think we've only got
20 or something,
Yeah.
25 of these. And we have got approximately 20 PPA.
Yeah, the living town.
Oh, yeah, it's tiny, definitely.
Let's stay for two.
Yeah, so these were designed by Suzanne.
Oh.
Today,
Yeah,
so that's the hour. Yeah.
yeah, so she did.
Oh,
all
you
that.
did.
From one,
Yes, no, we actually.
yeah. They, them with the teacher.
Yeah.
Wait till.
Yeah, so you've got Kohanui anyway, so Suzanne is Kohanui.
Exactly, yeah.
I'll take you.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, darling. Wow. So, we're just gonna take a little break now, so we can go and get a cup of tea, have a toilet, have a lunch. We want the bread to the table. So 10 minutes? 10 minutes in. Yeah, let's talk for now. You can see that our ladies sit up.
Oh, okay. Oh, I just made the.
Okay, You can't see my eye.
I didn't really. Seven, come in.
And we'll see that, okay. Okay. I will be giving you, hopefully everybody's read the minutes from the last meeting.
Oh, sorry, just
Oh.
actions on public participation.
What is,
Are we able to, just, we will be speaking to those with the financial assistance pack.
yes,
So that's the
very
action.
important.
Yeah. That's what.
It's going in the,
Yeah, so we will be talking to.
yes,
Yeah.
nine, item 9.5. So, we got the minutes.
Just regarding the minutes. the next one.
Oh. No, mine, spell check.
I tried so.
Yes, I think that I know.
Gotta do it.
Oh, yeah, true. Kind of meeting.
Karanua, Karana is the end of the year.
Yeah, it's in the wrong place.
Karana.
Yeah, and then on the next page, it's proper. That's right on the next page.
Anyone have anything else?
Oh, that's good. Yes, in the previous minutes, same thing. Just because in here, I'm announced that. I said the actions from public participation, there were no actions, and that's not actually correct. So there were actions and they were done, so it was being looked at in the financial. Yeah. The financial assistance support 9.5.
In those minutes. Here's a change in the attitude. Action around decisions on implication. Did you actually do it, or was it?
Which one, sorry?
Well, I wrote it down, I saw the minutes.
Okay. Members, everyone, country.
It's 9.6, number 3.
What do I-
That's on the- But does anyone remember doing the criteria?
Where is it? Put it in the last meeting. I think I'll come after it because I was everything.
Was this when she asked about decision? I think she got an answer and again, I think they were discussing and get back to it in the future. Near future. But was it a criteria? I can't remember where it was.
Yeah, no, that wasn't the dedication, this is the same.
Yes,
Why I cracked up.
yeah, I think.
Yeah, it was just.
Why is it?
Just wanted to get our attention. Was that, that was the old lady that said, hurry up, hurry up.
They were standing, number people, oh, here, here it is under 8, chairperson's report,
Yeah,
it's covered here by standing number people. I spent to hear the draft decision, so she did it, she did it, she started a little bit of a wire cut and then stopped and then said.
Yes, she did a way.
Yeah.
So this, but yeah.
Yes.
She's been there before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's all like that.
She's done a way, so. which made everybody look. Oh. Welcome. Yeah, we did. Okay. Any more corrections, Tony? Okay. Do I have a mover that the minutes of the Māori Standing Committee meeting held on the 30th of April 2024 be confirmed as a true and correct? Yes, with correction. Corrections, so the mover?
I'll second it.
All those in favour, please say aye. Motion is carried. So next is 8.1, which is the chairperson report. Chairperson's report. No report from the chief executive, then start. Presentation. Presentation. Sorry, presentation. Presentation. We are. Okay, we will now move on to the information review report. Do I have a mover to receive the income and expenditure report? No, that one. Presentation. Sorry, I'm reading it. The representation report. Mark,
Yes.
do we have a second?
No.
Robert. Yeah. All those in favour, please say aye. Those against. Motion is carried. That's page 6.
Today, we'd like to give the Māori Standing Committee an update on the representation review, which is a little work going over the last month. So the paper before you is a report that went to the Strategy Working Committee in 3 July following a workshop in regards to the representation review, looking at the number of councillors, the wards and the boundary lines, whether we elect from councillors from the wards or at large, and community boards. And following that paper and the workshops with our councillors, we staff have been given direction to look at the initial proposal for representation options for the 2025 and 2028 local elections. And that initial proposal includes a reduction in the number of ward councillors. So currently we have 3 wards, Greytown, Hempstead and Martinbury, and we have 3 councillors elected from those wards. The initial proposal is looking at reducing that to 2 and introducing 2 at-large councillors that would sit across the entire district. And also looks at possibility of the establishment of community boards. So in the initial proposal, we are recommending the establishment of community boards, and what has been recommended is a rural advisory board, which is not part of the representation review per se, but we will be looking for community feedback on that. There is also a couple of other things which have come up, which I think it's worth noting as well to the Māori Standing Committee. As you're aware, we've got the Māori Board Amendment Bill, which is going through Parliament at the moment, and there has actually been an amendment paper to that bill, which will look at council needing to make an active decision on Māori boards. And the amendment paper looks at a new legislative date of the 6th of September. Councils needed to either revoke the rescind the voting boards or take to the voting boards to the poll for the 2025 election. Secondly, the other thing that we would like to talk to the Māori Standing Committee about is that we need a name for our Māori board. What has taken place in other councils has been that Mana Whenua have gifted a name to council for the Māori boards, and that is a practice that we would like to look at, and we would like to kind of start engaging with the Māori Standing Committee around what the name of the Māori board is. The Māori board sits at large across the district, so it is not a general ward. A general ward is related to Greater Bearston and Martinborough only. So that will come as a request from our CE to the Māori Standing Committee, and one of the things that we'll look at is just aligning that in the dates with any new legislation that goes through with the Māori board amendment. Yeah.
And then, until it comes through, we just carry on.
Correct. My advice is we currently live under the legislation that is in play, and the legislation that's currently in play is that Council has resolved from November 2023 to establish Māori boards for the 2025 and 2028 local election. At this point in time, there is no change to that legislation, and when the bill passes through Royal Assent, is when we would like to start.
How quickly do you, this look like in the way it's moving?
The advice we've been given is that the Māori board amendment bill was looking to pass by the end of July. So we are keeping an eye on that over the next week.
Did anyone see Jeremy Hanal's speech? Oh, I love him again. I just love him again.
Can I just clarify here, where it says consult on no community boards, that's not actually the case, is that we are consulting on whether or not there will be community boards.
Right, in the initial proposal, under legislation, we have to have a really clear definition of the initial proposal, which sets out how we see the elected members voted in. So the proposal needs to be very much that there are two councillors from wards, and are looking at the population ratio to that. So part of that makeup of what it needs to look at, we need to be clear that our initial proposal is for no community boards, and then as part of that consultation process using the central consultation procedure, we need to collect community feedback on that initial proposal before you make a final decision at the strategy committee.
That is fine.
So tomorrow's for the initial proposal. So there are two times that a decision will need to be visited by council effectively. One is the initial proposal, which we then go out and consult on under the special consultation procedure. And then the second one is following the hearings and the deliberations. Council must review its decision based upon the feedback from the community. And at that point, put a final proposal in place, and notification must go out to the community of that final proposal.
So
any other questions or clarifications that members would like to ask from Nikki? Does anyone have an idea what we could? Yeah.
That I haven't, that sort of.
Also, Nikki.
Just regarding that, who is our representative on the strategy committee? Is it?
Violet.
Anybody else got anything for Nikki to push your hands up?
Anything.
Those are two things. Shouldn't have been agreement. Must stay there all the time.
Good to see you.
Yeah,
Okay, back to 9.2. Fighting with Kairotan leader report.
so yeah, we need to, so we can just do that.
So now move into the fighting with Kairotan leader report. Do I have a mover to receive this report? And answer. All those in favour, please say aye. All those against? Motion is carried. So,
May I just ask a question with regards to this? Was there any footage shot from the, gifting back of the one? Well,
I think I had live footage.
I'm just wondering if there's maybe some way to, because this was about bringing in different aspects from here, and I think it's really important that somehow, like, you know, that we, but I guess we need to find out, if we could just check to ask that question, to know if she's able to use any of that footage as another. Sorry.
Yeah, because I watched it on the
Yeah.
Where did you see it?
online, on the,
Yeah.
homage page. Yeah,
Because there's two videos and video footage of the Tokyo Bridge, and I'm just wondering if,
I'm not quite sure.
if that's due to the, no, but I think it's because it's about the, you know, it's about tying,
Yeah.
which is what it's meant to look like, but I still believe that the Moana and the gifting back is a story that is fine, so.
look at this.
No.
Okay, I'm going to make it. We'll move on to the 9.3. No tab because they're not here. Okay. Yes, okay. Right, that's the one on Lake Wonderful the report. We will now move on to Lake Wonderful report. And do I have a mover to receive this report?
It's one of the doors that you find there.
Oh.
If you want to do that.
Yeah. Okay. So if we just rewind a little bit. Sorry, and we'll go back to the reader's report. So on number one was to receive the report. Number two is to endorse the new timeline for completion of phase 2 as described in the report. Yeah. Wait, those new timeline for the completion of phase 2. Can I have a mover, please?
I'll move to 3.
Okay. Any other three? Can I need a second? We can go to next one.
That's what we do the carry thing.
Come on, so
We're going to agree to some. We had.
Yeah, that was some,
he's pretty good.
There was the last line.
yeah.
It's just that, she lives a bit longer, so.
Yeah, I understand. I just wasn't sure whether it says is there a price increase.
Yeah, yes, that's what.
Okay. All those in favour, please say aye. Anyone against? Motion is carried. And- There's no minutes to be kept.
What am I?
Oh, what?
Let's put.
Okay, now we get to the Waka Ama on that Orchid Recreation Reserve report. Can I have a mover? To accept this? And this.
Okay, take on.
For those in favour, please say aye. Anyone against? Motion is carried.
Didn't get me.
So we haven't heard from them, but everybody can see the report. Yeah. That is Raihandra and Emma. Or Raihandra. And that is a Waka group. But
And, that includes planning
yeah,
and
so memory and Lee as well, but that, do a lot of work with them and I call him the weed and stuff. I can come over and and what
Doesn't that mention what?
yeah. So, yeah. So number two, the recommendations are that to receive the Waka Ama on Lake Ormoki Recreation Reserve report and provide, number two is to provide advice on which groups should be consulted on. So they can go on the lake and
Those that have put the structure in place. Through the chair, we're looking for guidance around the fact that it's a 44-foot container. Whether that's appropriate from your committee's viewpoint, but also around the bioreform statutory board and the need to potentially consult that group as well. Given obviously they now the statutory entity around.
Yeah.
On we're looking for guidance as to next steps. Whether you support this being a container on
So that's,
We're not endorsing whether or not to have the structure there. You only want us to look at what the structure is.
Well, they
With
put
a section
forward
on that anyway.
they put forward a 44-foot shipping container.
so that's just all their pockets.
Yeah, so they already have a Waka, but it's a house store in it, so it's not out in the bigger. It's somewhere to store that Waka. Yeah. It's strong.
In there is an indication of where it would sit. On page 37. And also the fact that we would potentially let's say for the potential
Yeah.
consultation.
So is that a council reserve?
It is, so it's a recreation reserve.
So where's it in relation
Yeah, like
to
theory.
yeah, where's it in relation to the camping ground? So back up towards,
Yeah.
heading towards,
Heading towards the Marae.
heading towards the Marae. Oh, yeah.
There's a little way back there.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, Marae. Yeah, I know the one.
I'm
Yeah.
not quite.
Yes.
And that's what I wasn't in.
I mean,
Belongs.
If you change it up to the park.
That's what they want to do here too, like remove those pine trees.
Yep.
I saw there. They want to through the removal of pines and planting of suitable natives. Yeah, they want to restore the eco pastoring. So now kids through some of our dot and Lewa things. They have planted over the years a lot around that part of the awa. So it'd be nice to remove it. It's right there, that's that stream. Yeah, got those, like, I think they need to train all the other things that they, where the cats.
I'm going to the race. Thank you much.
We will need to do some consultation on this though, because we don't currently, the reserve management plan takes over contemplated the lease or license for these purposes, so there would have to be a consultation. And we would have to give full consideration of any objections and submissions through that process under the reserve zone.
And it has to be a lease. They have a lease on that.
At the moment, you can, but like I said, you have to go through a process to do that. And it would be a council. It would be a council decision because the authority for that hasn't been delegated to staff. So the outcome of that would have to go through a council resolution process.
So that the same as the section, even.
I'm not sure what the rules around the campground were. What the staff is saying in here is that the actual recreation reserve doesn't contemplate this like on this particular part of the reserve.
Just never come up with water bill, the ship or. I don't know, Marcus here on our culinary.
We can have the area, and that would be a good, something good to do then, or stop this other recreational drivers going around here. Because they drive right around. They don't just park there where this container's gonna be, guys. They actually walk
All the way around.
They drive right around. So they drive around where these birds are nesting and stuff.
Oh, okay.
They've seen them driving all the way
But
around.
putting that container there will be a good thing, because then there'll be more eyes seeing the traffic there, and then we can kind of judge between whose eyes are seeing what, whether we have to monitor that recreational driving on that lake vehicle.
Because there's lots of,
So they're not driving, they're driving on the low tide. They're driving on the high tide line.
there's lots of opportunities.
Yeah, and that's where the sign can come, signs can come up in education, and definitely the schools are gonna be going out there, so.
Because right there.
They'll see it, yeah, definitely let them do their planting on it, so it looks like crap.
It's strange like that.
It looks like crap. Yeah, so it's like a couple of hours walk around while they're.
So then with regards to the structure, I mean, I've seen in place with other, like, with these types of things that they're, one thing that you can say about containers, it tends to seal tight, and I think that's really important. And I don't know about others.
Really pretty close to these people that stay over here, they're not much in it, they're not scared of anyone.
Yeah.
It's their community.
Yeah, and just, but
No, they're definitely not scared to be out there and have everybody knowing.
yeah, I'm not,
So I think there's as well a Mark Fenwick, he's always down in this, he's always down in there.
Is the
what I'm thinking is because of how it looks, or
Yeah.
it's perceived to look as just a container. You can get like really nice slabs and things like that, like wooden slabs that could go along the side, that could then, they would probably deter vandalism, which is mentioned in this report. And I'm just thinking of other ways that it could still be, look, it will still be, it can take part aesthetically.
It's a pretty safe community, there's no graffiti around. Every time I might go there, every now and again, there's nothing happening there but fishing.
Martin, do something to.
Yeah, if somebody had asked me, where would you put a container around this particular lake, I would have thought the
Yeah, but they're all-
was about as good as anywhere. The other thing is just picking up, councillors, you're quite right, some containers.
Yeah.
But,
I'm sure they don't work in the night.
This aesthetics, eh?
if you look at, if you look at what they did on that lake ground, just for a long Arroway and most. Absolutely amazing.
And it looked really,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if I understand what the group is mostly, it's, we find out up front who you think we should consult with.
Yeah, but it helps.
Yeah, plus it's like access wise for them to get in and out of, and one of there too, so.
Yeah, you just like,
Because they're not just walking armour people, they're the tie architect. The ones that are going to be doing this, so.
and the ones that are running.
They would be listening to
Those volunteers that
volunteers,
we-
they're planning.
Yeah.
It's the kids that are running.
Yeah, yeah, that's the big thing for me as well, is, and that was, to be able to see the lake starting to be reused for that type of
I
recreation.
drive my baby all the way out there every Friday, so he'd go to walk home.
Yeah, yeah.
And get on that lake, because during the summer and the mouse guys, the kids can.
Yeah.
Paddle all the way around there on that one.
To get Rahani on the fiddle and doing
Yeah.
this stuff, he brings attention to himself, he doesn't even need the lake.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, you know what I mean? So,
And,
yeah,
and babies love them.
yeah, Rahani does good things for the area.
Yeah.
Support him with what he wants to do, eat cake. and
So,
whatever.
as, you know, as Whanganui is living in the area, I just want to make sure that, you know, it's not my place to say, I'm just trying to kind of put a few things on how, if there's issues with that, how it looks, you know, how it could be made to look pretty, there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't just sit in the water up, he goes to.
That's just ideas, I mean, yeah, it's not my place to tell them how to, they'll,
And we know that-
they'd like it to look.
He wouldn't put something that's gonna seep into our other.
Yeah.
Because he's one of the ones around there planting.
Yeah.
And that's it.
And he's going to all the tie who is in,
Yeah.
every law he is doing exactly the same things at each. So he already knows what they're doing, and he's only following on from what the rest of the law is doing.
When he finished that waka there, he was under the umbrella of Whanganui anyway. We had to bring it, so.
Yeah.
We're gonna support it
Need to
because
maintain it.
that's our rangatahi, yeah, and you didn't have what we did.
It's his front, yeah, he was.
Had been on those rafts.
It's not my place to.
Yeah.
Say, so.
We don't, I support it.
Yeah, there's nothing bad coming out of it, it'll be good.
Because we got Lee and Memory on here, so Whanganui supports it. And he rang me up about it anyway before you.
So anyone else, is there anyone else that you feel they should be contacting and
Yeah.
like when
I'm concerned about the relationship between the council and that.
Yes.
so you're thinking that that's who they should be taking this to?
I think there needs to be a discussion with the.
So perhaps if so Māori Standing Committee's been brought to the Māori Standing Committee to do an endorsement and the Māori Standing Committee support, because that can change them when it goes to the side of
We're seeking guidance as to whether they agree or not, it should go through that process. I think that the statutory will be relatively new, so I'll go through the process of standing up now. As a council, we haven't had to have those conversations or have them in that space before, so we're learning as we go as well.
Yeah.
So it's really whether, you know, this is something that you see should go through that process, given the lake and the return of the lake and the fact that this is going to be on the lake itself. Does that require?
Whose land is it?
The lake itself is a recreation reserve,
Oh,
it's ground land.
It's around there.
We know.
But it's equal to Killikilly that I say. They are
They stop doing what they were doing the land.
But you know, the council said they need to talk to us, isn't it? If it's council around it, or do they go to?
They have to go
Well,
to
I
the
just wanted
statute.
to know.
They have to go to
Now that
the
it's
statute.
been set up, the 1.1 is statutory board, it's been set up.
But remember,
And
they
take
only
it
got
there,
one,
but
one,
we
they
go to
didn't
the
get
Māori
one.
Standing Committee.
It's us.
Then it puts an
They
endorsement.
didn't get Oniki in there, Onoki in there.
I think you need to check the
Okay.
legislation to see exactly what they have got responsibility for. And I'm not sure.
You didn't say the right thing.
Check to see whether they do have a relationship with Lake Whanganui.
I don't know what relationship with that being the land being our pathway.
The statutory board,
Yeah.
Kahanuni,
Kahanuni.
and Nangitani.
Yeah, Ngāti.
and they're both on the 1.1 statutory board, so therefore.
Yes,
So then,
that's who they need to
so
go
it's going to go through, but would the Māori Standing Committee be putting through an endorsement to, or because.
We'll be asking our union to put
Which
a proposal there.
Yeah, so they're from us, aren't they?
So, yeah.
Same thing they proposed, so therefore what's going on. No decision making, just think.
So they're not actually asking for endorsement, they're just asking for advice.
So then all we need to do is just go back to them and let them know
Let them know
that.
We're going to liaise with the Iwis.
Or know that they can take it to the one up on the one.
Yeah, one.
Prevent it.
And then we support it.
Yeah.
And given that it's a new process,
Yes.
then it's our chance.
Yeah.
And raise it up, yeah.
And the other thing,
Okay.
I think, regarding our committee is what they put in there and the impact that it's going to have on the environment. Let's face it, everyone's looking at trying to make it as less impact on there as possible. So that's the aesthetics of it. We don't want something that's going to be rusting after a certain amount of time. So we need to ensure that
It's very flat.
no, it's made with a store.
Yeah,
It's used for
they see it, yeah.
rust will get to it. So it needs to be maintained. Regarding the funding to be able to get this venture off the ground, are they going to be coming to us as that in the future, or do we need to think about that when we're talking about giving them an endorsement? We have funding, we have a group here that will be able to contribute to that. So I think they need that.
They just need to apply to their information.
Like everybody, but is
In
it?
an expansion.
Through the chair, I think the first step is, get it supported and does the Māori Statutory Board support it? And then we would have to go through the consultation process to actually enable it. And then we would look at funding. And there's not a lot of point in looking at funding it. It would then fall over at one of these.
Yeah, we need to ask that.
To be able
Works
to
on maintenance, that makes
make
sense.
it happen.
Yeah, and if you have a look at the reason why they put it in the area it's in. It's got access to the lake, it's flat, it's outside the flood zone. It's sheltered from the, not now, if you get his report. It's sheltered from both southerly and northerly westerly winds, which can be particularly strong around the Hoki.
I think we
It's a real key distance to public tourism program and there's a level of security of multiple residential properties.
we're not worried about that.
Yeah,
Pitch the box.
Yeah.
But reserves act is something that we see from the officers about.
yes.
We need to do what we actually do need to do.
Yeah.
Get the council saying, well, we can give them a license to occupy or whatever, do they even need that?
Yes, they will.
And
They will need.
it's grounding.
And will be at council discretion whether we need to charge them for that.
Potentially. There's nothing in there that specifies charges.
It would go on basis.
It's possible that you could do peppercorn, but you would consider that as with the process.
Just maybe get the link for the. And here of it.
Yeah, well, exactly.
And they could be placed happy for that. You want to matter?
My reading is that the step would that like governance of wider wetlands and the surroundings.
Okay, that please me.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's a recommendation that they can do.
Everybody in favour?
So what's that down the look like? What are we saying
So,
here? The resolution.
will be drafted to Te Reo Mahara suggesting that they go to the one up and one with this request, because that was going to request.
But look, we're happy.
Yeah, I'm happy to support. Is that okay?
Well, we've got to have that on the minutes, right?
Yeah, so I'll move that. Does anybody wanting to second that? I think. Oh, yeah.
Big man.
All in favour? Anyone against? Kia ora. Next item. What's called? Is, never mind. What do I have? Expenditure. Income and expenditure. We will now move on to the income and expenditure report. Do I have a mover? And a seconder? All those in favour, please say aye. Anyone against? Motion carried. Any updates from our staff?
Through the chair, I'd like to ask the committee whether the current layout of these reports is useful in determining anything, and I would like to suggest that we move away from the requirements to structured availability and report. And I struggle to follow this, so I struggle with you. So I just want to get feedback from you into whether it's useful and whether you are open to us changing it in the next report cycle.
I mean, the title of this is correct.
Tell me on the
I find
So you want to change it back to a normal layout for a treasury report?
The fact that we split this into 4 groups, we've got one that focuses about two, one that focuses about mechanisms, and then 2 we've got funds in. But I'm not sure that the funding applications that you're now considering fit into these particular boxes anymore. So whether it would be more useful to have a funds available, and then you can see what's been committed, what's not been committed, similar to what we do with the community board grants.
regarding
Because I'm
this,
looking at them.
regarding the setup of these 4 areas, purpose why they had particular subjects or whatever you want to governing the areas.
So I'm pretty sure that the board code, we decided on in 2020. So there was quite a bit of discussion at that time with the Māori Standing Committee about what they would like to decide on where funds would come from. And so that was how these 4 were decided on. I mean, I understand exactly what you're saying, because one's set up one way and the next one's set up a different way, and that can be quite confusing.
I'm not, through the chair, I'm not actually sure that at this point, if I was to ask you what you think your funds available are, we would be able to tell them this report what they are.
Yeah,
And look at is those figures that say funds available remaining allocation.
Yeah, so you've
That's how
got
ordinary,
the first one that's overspent by 8,946.
I said I'm minus the.
And the one that's in funds by 8,850, and then you've got in funds, I think, by 12,800, and in funds by 2,052, but the total amount is about 14.7. But you would have to have them together to get to that, so I'm not sure that this is going to help you, and I'm not sure that the way that the applications are coming to you is this is fit for purpose.
No, it's not. And it still says that there, operations budget allocated 1st of August 2020,
Yeah.
38. So this is still the leftovers from that.
Yes, there's been no funding.
There's no funding since 2020.
There is
multiple times.
Yeah.
There is other funding, and that's your annual allocation. I did a synopsis of this for the chair back in March, and that was clearer in terms of the amount of funds that remained from here, plus the annual grant, less what you've spent, what was going to go back into the fund. So the balance didn't get lost, if you know what I mean. So
Yes.
if you have 20,000, you'd only give them 15, but that 5 was then added to the pot for this. So that you always knew.
Yeah, but there hadn't been any additional funding put in here, like since 2020, it was meant to be an annual thing, the same as a community board. But that hasn't been the case, so we've been working on that amount for 2020, 38 and 27. Okay, so that's really so.
So 2020, that's 4 years of funding, 3 years.
No, so we've, but in saying that, we have taken it's taken quite some time to get through the amount that we had. So I
Yeah,
don't know
I
whether or
think
not it's.
that's, yeah.
But we're getting to the sticky end now, because I think if we had received that, then we wouldn't be a deficit in one of our code, you know?
Yeah.
So. Yeah. Okay. That's nothing, so I mean, but all we can go on is what we've got now and keep.
Yeah, and
Yeah, there should be, yeah, there should be funds coming through, like this has been back to the table here, where it was like, this needs to be coming every single year to the Māori Standing Committee. Yeah, we have funds that's expected to give grants, and there's no,
Yeah.
we need to be getting grants from, you know, so.
Well, I said.
Unless we apply for the wellbeing fund to get some money to the other. Māori Standing Committee, you know, so.
So we're not supposed to be doing that.
No, that's a pool, there's no point in that, this has been, meant to have been in place since 2020, but they're.
Regarding the long. Well, has that been budgeted?
I would think it go back to the team's figures
Yes.
in the enhanced standing plan, but it should
Yes.
be.
It was absolutely asked for to be in this, and I've been a plan, had discussions, not just here, but also at the other table as well. That the Māori Standing Committee should not be missing out on any further money coming through to be able to run, otherwise, there's, why are we here?
And why?
We're being treated completely different from other groups, you know, like the other boards. And yet we're expected to, you know, it was, so there was, then that was why there was a significant amount put in the first time, was to actually, with backdating on that, and then moving forward, there was meant to be more, and then some moved in 2021, 2022. So all of 2022. I've been asking this question every time that any threats coming through, so.
Well, should that be a resolution?
Yeah.
And that ensure that our,
Yes, we can go there and discuss Janice, I mean, Janice get that short look at
and the other things, it's not just here,
it.
we're here to find. People. She wants to learn to that, you know.
Yeah.
Well, every single council report says that they've discussed with Māori. Now, the way that they're covering that is because of the Māori Standing Committee, and it's, you know, like, it's a very important role that you hold, and the Māori Standing Committee was set up as a partnership with the council. So the whole point of it was to make, that was because for treaty obligations at the time, and that was something that John Reid, who was the mayor at the time, put in place. And so it's been that way for quite some time, and however, it was always just, the only thing that was ever paid was just travel. And so, you know, and then I'm not sure why, but for this whole triennium, I haven't seen a sheet going around asking me for full their kilometres for travelling here every meeting either. And I don't understand why that is either.
Any other
You
meeting
should, yeah, you should be, anyone that's having to travel from Masterton and things, there should be, you should be able to at least get that, you know, like, but at the moment,
And for us to be able
it's
to
nothing.
head this debate. Said, the amount of material that we get us going to meeting, for us to be able to fully comprehend and be able to play active part in our role, is we've got to do a lot of reading. Yes. We've got to use a lot of time to be able to be effective on what our position should be. We've got no.
You need to travel out to go and check on that land to see what's going on out there, to make sure that land, so that was one of the other, you know, it's, and that's been okay. I mean, you can talk to the people that were on the Māori Standing Committee previously, and they will tell you, that, like Paul Michael, lawyer who was on for ages, and he'll tell you that he always claimed for his travel, because he was actually using a lot around Papua, but all the way around, like the whole community. Yeah, Yeah, when that, so he did a lot of travelling and would, you know, and we were glad to, because otherwise it was like we just sitting here volunteer. And that's not the case, we are important.
Mr. Chair, I've got a note already follow up on that.
Thank you.
Thank you. I just need some guidance from you. If I was to change this report and remove these 4 and move to a more sort of funds available kind of approach, would you be happy with that?
I don't agree. It's a bit confusing, yes, it is a bit.
That one I can understand. I'm not sure I understand it all. They're already labelled under there, they don't need to be.
And I think that all the shops and stuff, we think that all boxes were there for specific reasons. And areas that we saw that needed support. In unity and, we need.
That's not
what they're doing.
That would be the case. Sorry.
They're still there. They still are still there.
Yeah, no, so Janice is saying to remove them, and I'm just thinking maybe we shouldn't, but this really needs, this way makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, that's all.
Instead of like that,
Yeah.
confusing.
I can understand that.
Can I ask the question? You've had 2 applications tonight on planting and one people. Where would they fit within these 4? If you were looking at something, which one would you be going for?
Well, with the tile.
Yeah.
And
That would be total,
Total,
and so would the
fire.
yeah. Right.
Sorry, Ian.
Yeah, thank you. I would like to suggest that we invite Janice to follow on with her proposal. That way, the next meeting will see what it is we'll make decisions there. I confess, from the very first meeting, I was saying I struggled a little bit to try and work out what's the important information here from some of the other stuff. And I do believe that with the sums of money we're talking about, that it's more easily communicated, set of accounts would be better. But I would suggest we try and then decide whether we want to buy it.
I'll just, I'm sorry to be a pain. And now, when we do our funding applications, because I don't sit on the non-group. When our funding applications come in, we've just got a generic. And we've got fun, and we had the figures, we just had the figures on what we have available. And then we work through that, divvy that up to suit whatever the applications.
Yeah.
So an alternative might be to have the meaning of the code at the top, and then when you give the grant, you allocate it for one of them, so that you can see.
Yeah.
And they all.
And then you just often change as you go as to which one it is, and then you can get a feel for the end of the year. You might have more gone out in one than another, which might change how you approach funding the following year. You might want to support another more than that one, but I think having it broken down this way, we're going to get massive unders and overs, and it just gets messy. So I think you're going to decide when you're allocating which code you're going to allocate it to, and you note that, and then you fall back on it once you've decided, but you're not constraining yourself in saying we've only got 10,000 to this one, but I want to put it into this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Would it look more like this, Janice? Yeah.
So I'll be working with the team.
I'm just looking at the 15,982. The 15,982 looks to me to be that, and nothing's from there, but that is what is everything that's available, is it?
I'm not even sure what that one is, to be honest, so I will spend some time with the finance team and we'll work out a more meaningful way.
Yeah. Well, you see, that might be from asking for the funding to come through,
It's
and then it has to be touched.
at the time.
Because we didn't know, because it had to come across into here, That was a matter, so that came from the 2024 year of the funding for here, but we just didn't know.
We will make it.
Trying to get in here.
What's been committed, what's available.
That would be awesome.
That would be amazing.
Totally. Okay. Need the motion?
I've got that. It was a line request.
Got it. Okay, next up is. Financial assistance. So let's just. Do the whole report and then discuss. Okay. We will now move on to the financial assistance report. Do I have a mover to receive this report? Kia ora.
Second.
Ms. Maynard. Okay, Dean. All those in favour, please say aye. Anyone against? So, committee needs to decide which fund each grant comes out of. So, this one, we doing this one here. Consider the application from Desire Aria Atahua, Marion, I don't see, just looking at, so these are not there. This has been attending, Rangatahi,
So we changed the.
Rangatahi leadership one, and Vanuatu, well, because of all the nice things that are happening in Vanuatu, they didn't go to Vanuatu, they went to Rarotonga.
Good distance.
Rarotonga for $1,000 from the grant fund. So remember when we had Georgia May come in and they went to the same place? Yeah.
Leadership, yeah,
Just retrospectively.
this one, yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah.
She didn't get the application and it.
Okay,
It came the day after.
But we did speak of it when Georgia May came in and the chair, Andrea, asked for Desire to hurry up and get her application.
Application now. So they were.
Yeah, for sure, we had two stuff, what up.
So through the chair, there's no reason why can't grant, and it's just. There's nothing in the
Okay.
grant saying, yes,
Okay,
so in the grant, it's a policy thing.
but do I have a motion?
It depends on who you speak to, because Barbara, so, maybe. But,
So Desire's mother is my cousin, mine and Martin's cousin, but Karen, she was raised as our sister. She was raised by our grand aunt, well, so grandparents, out at Pirinua, Blakefield.
Yeah.
So,
It's just. Dealing with retrospective applications is always been. Tricky situation, you got it, that's like people, that's right. Yeah, and then do we get us a whole series of people applying for stuff after they've done it? Or because we missed it by whatever time was. I think that's just a.
they get the date for the application, she just must give them before our meeting.
And the problem is we didn't have any more applications coming in, we had money, but no one to give it to.
And
No one realised
that.
If the chair specified that she.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she did.
and,
It should be
it's, but also, that has happened, in the past before, and it. Now they're saying that was brought up, that it just, we just needed to be careful with that, and that was, I believe it was for some, but they needed to buy.
Yeah, I appreciate the fact that.
They needed it was with quite a more cultural monitoring program. They needed something and there was only but they had to buy it and then apply effectively. And that's because, that was another one that happened, and it was in 21, and at that time, it was like, you know, we really had to try not to do that, but again, this was literally one that just didn't get here in time.
Yeah, we haven't had
And spoken to the chair, and the chair said at the meeting, in the public meeting, to get the application in, and so that was done. Not quite there, so I've got no problem, but, you know, approving. Well, it's not that, because it has happened in the past.
No, so
Yes, so we're quite clear that the application was not a retrospective one, it's a consideration of the.
Through your chair, the application came in long before the event occurred.
Yeah, but only got to say it later.
so the day after our last toy, way back in April,
Yeah, this is the thing.
he got the application in, but it was too late for our meeting. Māori Standing Committee.
Right.
The chair had already pretty much said, get that application in, and she was,
And the other thing is possible. Is that apparently the total cost was roughly $5 and she is going to raise the right. So, and generally speaking, I'm much keener to those things that I have some of this.
yes, and there's no as well ahead to give a full report.
Right.
Because
That was the one thing I had.
she wrote that on to.
Likely easy. And I
It'll be looking
just
at it.
reflect on the fact that I'm not sure that we've actually been finally rigorous with our accountability lines. I only, thank you. And I have a feeling she got on the one. I think that's.
Yeah, but there were two that were coming through for this, and they'll both be presented.
Yeah, and that's
That's just
They're still on the script.
yeah,
Well, I can still, so.
No, they're still on the drive.
it's still doing the thing.
Yeah.
So the thing I'm not happy is the comment that.
Because she lives inside.
I understand. But I agree that she prepared.
She does,
So I think
that would be better for
that having face to face.
Well, that's really good, because what that, when our meetings are on a Tuesday evening every 8 weeks, and she gets full.
Let's work around.
Yeah,
That's very, yeah.
I'm like,
So it makes it.
I'm not going to do coming there.
And because the thing is, her future desire is to come back here.
Yeah.
And we're here in the Wairarapa. See what you do, we
can hold it in the school holiday, then and wait all the way until Christmas. She can come up to our last meeting.
Yeah, because she's coming in Christmas time, we've got a reunion here. It's cool, man. But she'll have a bit for Amy's birthday, so.
so we're going to.
I do not.
But we've got to ensure our procedure. That if there is an application that comes to that, and this is something that we might discuss in the day,
Yeah.
is that if there is potential to apply for it, we've got to make sure that our funding get done able to do that, and we need to be able to pull an extraordinary meeting.
This one came along the first of May, the day after.
And everybody's calendars after that were busy, so we couldn't throw anything when we were.
Don't have a hurry in June.
Yeah.
Through the chair, if you're not going to do it through an extraordinary meeting, you can do it by email support. If you agree that it's unanimous support of members, then you get all the emails back to say that you all agree. And I've seen that happen with the community boards as well, and then it has to be unanimous. If there's no unanimous agreement, it comes back to the table.
And then we have to
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's, I just think that it safeguards us and it also ensures that I'm not missing out. Because we
Yeah.
clearly we haven't spent the money that we've been able to give. But in saying that too, we've got to make sure that they understand that it's pretty.
Yeah.
And more.
Yeah.
Yeah, through the chair, in those circumstances, if the application is before the event and you've got a clear email trail that you've approved it before the event, then it would be in support of this at this meeting to say, yeah, there was two emails in the sort of members before the event happened. And then that just, I think, is a way.
Let's get it.
Yeah, so.
That should be our process though.
Yeah, it's fine.
But anyway, moving on. The funds.
Yeah, so the next one is Papua.
So, we saw it tonight in the
Next thing.
Possibly.
All those in favour?
Right.
Anyone against? Okay, 953, consider the application from Papua.
Sorry, through the chair, which grant fund?
Oh,
They
true,
want protocol.
vocal, yeah. This one we pay again for Georgia Bank. So consider the application from Papua.
May I speak to the ministry?
Yeah.
Now, with the enhanced spending plan, we actually had, we were advised that there was $70,000 that needed to go on for planting, riparian planting around Papua.
Yes.
And so, now, I don't know how I missed it, but apparently it came to the Māori Standing Committee. I didn't remember it coming to the Māori Standing Committee and I voted against it because from time back from when it was, and I know how much work the Papua had done, I didn't know whether or not 70,000 was too much. However, if that's the case, I believe that there's something should be coming from there. From that 70,000 that has already been done through the enhanced annual plan, because I know that Papua has already spent, you know, that there has been a lot of riparian planting that has been done at Papua. And so they're not going to meet 70,000 that was needed 3 years ago when the, you know, the report was done. And so I believe that this $10,000 can be coming from that and that they need to speak to Wellington more.
Well, through the chair, my understanding is the 70,000 that there was a greater Wellington riparian planting plan for that area. So we would need to see whether this tied in with that, because that's a condition of the consent. So that has to bring around, I think you raised that at the time.
And it's right behind Papua.
To have that conversation,
Yeah.
so that's.
But just, this is a different, this group is actually working, you know, they're a volunteer conservation group from the looks of things, and so I believe that they need to be put on the radar of GDUP to make sure, because we know that we get contacted after Letters report that he gave back at just after Christmas, I think it was, and he sent the email out, and I know you were sent it, Laura sent it, Violet, and when he sent that report out about the issues that he was having with the regards to this creek, the first thing I did was tag in Wellington Water and to find out what was going on here and to do some investigation. So that means that we know it's on the radar. We know it's on the radar, but we need to just make sure that this group is on the radar. It's on the radar because they can get they can get the plants from this side of the hill, which is way more important than getting it from Wellington Water's back side of the hill, because with the, you know, it's the same. you know, and it's flowing from the same river.
I don't think they are connected with Jeddah because I'm doing my internship with Nathan.
That's what I mean. Yeah, so I think it was a volunteer catchment group,
Yeah.
which is fantastic, you know, like, I mean, we've got to, you know, I love the fact that people care about our whenua and are doing things like this, but I believe that these guys
But they need
potentially
a space for Jeddah.
be there because council has put funding towards the streams around Papua, and I guarantee that one of those streams. So if they're needing it, and I can.
I know we're doing Rathkill out with Stonehenge,
Yeah, no,
but we haven't heard anything about Papua.
no, so that meeting, and I haven't heard anything about it either, and
So think it'd be good.
Yeah,
to
so I
just-
I just wanted to bring up, I believe that we put 70,000 now, where they probably did, you know, the. These guys could have, so I just think if we're able to get Greater Wellington,
We see it
contacts there, to let them know about these people, because they could get parts 4 times cheaper than.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. I believe, Wellington, $10,000 last year.
Already.
That's great.
Now, I am not going to vote for support, and for 3 reasons. First one is it should never have come to this, I believe, because one of the requirements, we are, is that, amounts of $1,500 by either an audit.
Yeah, there is one.
This does not happen. The second reason I'm voting against it, I was for the first one. Somebody has done the hard work, helps to raise some money, and they're looking for us to report it. You get somebody that's looking for somebody else. The vast majority of money. And I think on that, as a matter of principle, that is one what I wish to do. Second, third, I think the point which is discussed, irrespective of whether local plans costs 4 times as much or other, and I don't think they need to therapy national. Sure that anybody can have a discussion, but any of the first grants, but nevertheless, I don't favour plans that are like this.
Yes.
And I think that's just a ecological principle. So,
And because our cousin is on the committee with us and she'll slap us off, can't we?
well,
Oh, you know, no, oh, you know what I mean? I can't support sending money out of the area where we have our industry.
Because you're investing in that.
It's still bar,
Yeah.
you know, you might be getting them for $1 there, but if he bars with Karen, then they'll definitely get a reduction. You know, just got to.
Yeah. They got to take it. But there are stipulations where you fill out these forms and there's information we request.
Yes.
And even though we've got a financial thing here, it's not an audited one.
No.
It's just done by the treasurer, and I could write anything in there.
But
No, but that's why I believe that there needs to be a discussion here, not with us, not with the Māori Standing Committee. It needs to, because there has been funding put in through the enhanced annual plan.
what they,
around
last
Papua,
year,
I believe that we need to,
what they did with last thing, to see if they're going to get it.
Yeah, but it.
no, that's what I'm saying, these guys can just be put on GHA's radar to talk to them if they're already doing it.
It makes me,
Yeah, so they are on there, so they are, you know, what, you know, it would be good to know, because that's the other thing as well, but the GLAD needs to go and look at what's being planted there, and Kate, what's come from there, was what's in the watermill.
So even though our cousin Mike, he's with Artisan Council, he's ongoing planting native there. He's the guy that we live to take care of the garden as well.
We,
With,
you know, right,
yeah, they he's done planting right along the street.
yeah,
So
but I think, yeah,
maybe they get a connect with Papua as well.
but it's not
Good, yeah.
it's not for here.
Yeah.
nobody said it.
We don't have teeth.
I think that should be good.
These guys, I reckon that they just talk through the enhanced annual plan and just get a link up. That's all.
Yeah.
Are you all in favour of that?
We put a support. Down to discuss. We could agree, a supporting leader or whatever. To support that group to go to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just said an action that makes the group up is very well to do.
Yeah, so do an action to just let them know that this, you know, that council is looking at, you know,
I can mention it on Thursday.
dealing with Greater Wellington, blah, blah, I don't know what you want to say. Blah, blah.
I think.
Yeah, I can mention this on Thursday. I'll mention the group. Is that in there?
Yeah, the Mangara.
No, other stream? Yeah, I'll mention it to you in our toolbox. And then I'll get some funding. Then they'll get us.
Perfect. So all in agreement, then let me not join me.
Probably end up there.
So we're totally fresh.
Yeah, that's not.
Yeah, it's not.
But gives them some advice.
Because there's already two other.
Who's to give guidance to anyone that's willing to take.
And there's money that has been spent on down in there.
Yeah, it's not down there.
Yeah, that's right.
When these people go to 70 grand.
You see the old grey house, the first one, look in there, isn't it?
Okay. Okay, so I've got a mover. Shane?
Oh, well, we're coming up to the.
I know, so it's just an action, we don't need to move on, shake it for an action. So the next one is the community college.
So for the Koronui Kapahaka. There's just a picture of Kapahaka, yeah, totally, yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Good thing.
No discussion on that.
It looks like maybe
It's asking for it.
Yeah.
Got a mover and a shaker, thank you.
who's the shaker?
Chief Martin and Amanda.
But
Martin's a more experienced shaker than me.
All those in favour of putting it in this? So anyone again? Motion is carried.
it's fun.
So which one will we take that out of? Whakapapa aye, because that's what it is.
It's not a problem.
Work kapahaka, e reo and all that, that's all whakapapa.
Then you had, it changed to 12. Not 20.
Apologies, I can discount.
I like grammar, Max.
I
Yeah.
it's stuff again. I think there's
Maybe we should.
That's Peter, someone else's money, right? Okay, action items, we will now move on to the action items report. Do I have a mover to receive the action items? Second that? Oh, 30. So all those in favour, please stay on. All those against? Motion is carried and the meeting update from our staff.
So.
I didn't save a copy for me. Oh, no, it's not there.
Right, what's on that? What's that?
Oh my God.
Yep.
Do apologize, this is so hard to do.
The sexual ones.
I'll just put that
Okay.
So number 358 and 359.
They got combined. There's been no review. So
So that's for the third, 2023, so over a year ago.
there was the planting that you got invited to, but that planting didn't happen. That wasn't really related to the. So I took it out.
We can just leave this here, I think, until Andrea, and that, because this was actually one that Andrea had put forward, and so I'd rather just leave it until she comes, if that's okay, because Just the fee if you'd like to close it off,
Yeah,
you know,
she might be saying it.
it may have a reason that, yeah. Yes. Thank you, right.
Mine's still at. It's been done, okay. So we go down to 147, 148 and 149. That was clarification around if Cape Palace on paper road is a council road or has a grade road. So that,
So there,
and there was a ferry road that was for.
Was it for?
And 149 is the Freedom Camping final. Yes, because that was Karen, Leighton, and a couple of others.
Yeah. yeah.
Lee, your wife, she's one of them. Yeah, no. Well, I think that we can wait for Karen. Wait for Karen to come back and report on.
Yeah, but wasn't it like 2 years? Yes, wasn't there some discussion around some legal council was seeking,
We do, through the chair, Stefan's taken this into the work with Tim. That is waiting for the reader to come back from early in August, and then they'll pick it up with the reader when she's back. So it's not gone away, we haven't forgotten it, it's still on our work programme because it needs, they can't move without it being back.
what?
Just because of the information they need around, that's what I've been told. I've been there, I drove up there with my husband probably 4 weeks ago. And I've seen from where it is, and I've seen the sign that's across the road, and I've got a visual now of what it is that we're trying to do. One of the problems we've got is evacuation from White Rock down that side of the coast if we have an emergency. So we've got to figure out how we would deal with that if we were to look to rescind the paper road. So there's a complication there about an emergency exit for around there if we were to need it because of an emergency then further.
Maybe just write a plan for when the event happens. It's
Because I think they've made
an emergency plan.
There's a few things that have come out in the discussion since I had the meeting with you that we would have to deal with in a different way, but we're not quite sure on what that different way is.
It's totally.
Still allow them emergency.
Slightly of significance around.
Whatever in reality, but like have written documentation. Yeah.
And that was our issue the first time. Range Rovers driving through there and destroying the creek that runs through there. And our significant sites that are out there.
Yeah, we're aware of that, but if you're stopping a paper road, you have to have clear line of sight with the government, with the minister about how you're going to get that access through.
Well, there's no actual people living out there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got dog hands and.
Yeah, it's just,
And there's four blocks involved. And just having authority in situation from those four owners. Blocks will do it, it's all of the taglets, yeah.
if you decide to, it isn't a cheap exercise to undertake to stop a paper road. So it just depends on the consultation requirements and the actions that need to be taken as well. I mean, we did talk about funding and where that might come from at the meeting that we had. So we've just got to tie some of those strings on. So it hasn't gone away. It's just it's something. It's a topic that's not going to go away. No, we haven't forgotten about it either. I think we definitely.
Yeah, it's a whole lot of legal stuff.
Yeah, we know it's a legal stuff.
Yeah.
It's been very.
Yeah, so we just need that.
Is clarification.
And there's more and more living out there. Looking for four-wheel drives.
It's been going for 12.
Yeah, that's why we do like it.
So now we're pushing.
From
Thank you.
needing permission to.
So we'll leave that open, just wait for some more clarification.
Yeah.
Just on costings, see how much it will cost.
One of the next positions for them to market for is a legal exec. So that we actually get legal advice within the four walls of council, not having to seek it externally. So hopefully that's going to be able to bridge some of these gaps for us.
Great. Yes, Marcel?
Well, yeah, I am keen to see, those, reasonable go forward here. But my reason, it's still an unusual one because, people have, been the destruction to size of significance that, can occur. But actually, in my view, there's much more of this. There's more of some of which is actually quite
Some of the
rare
invaders.
and dangerous city. And I think in a whole variety of ways, particularly around this region, we need to be sort of lifting the game
Yes.
on how we protect those areas.
They've got some of those blocks.
Sorry.
What around, especially like English,
Well,
what would be concerning you in Niwa or those gates?
There's a whole range of plants.
And little skinks and things.
The birds, eh?
I think we have to work, but the dogs got their problems. So.
Yeah.
I suppose one of the problems is that it's a notorious piece of code. A ship goes around. Have to get around.
Yeah.
So, it's.
Let's go, an emergency situation, but I don't think us as Makawhenua there and landowners are worried about that, but it's the everyday person going for the.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if they do.
So therefore, regarding that situation, it's, it will go back to actually, market that work regarding as in super, regarding worry about flora and fauna, just like whatever. We need it, it's growing where they can utilise it.
Yeah. So they're not going all over the Patagonia.
And in the front, I think, all those owners have to, regarding the area we're talking about, there is an area there that's specifically the habitat,
They'll be adopted.
that whole coastline.
Yeah.
So maybe.
I'm a geek, I've researched mine. I'm a geek, yeah.
Then the other process is if we stop the paper, then I'm going to like to then we would have to have a discussion about the exit route. So this, that's to the process, but I've just written that down to.
Yeah, because we don't want to let people, stop people from saving their lives, but we want to save those special things in there. The fellows have tried to save them.
Recreation, whatever, we don't want to stop recreation happening around here, but we do want to make sure they respect the way they do it.
Yeah. And through those gates, it's full of sea lions and buffaloes.
1973, 1974, 1975, little black ass kid.
Yeah, ladies,
Camping out there with my dad.
Yeah.
Didn't have permission from anybody.
these trucks could be running over babies because they still don't just stay down by the rocks, they're across the road.
Now they're in the
And
back.
their babies are there, you can take them by that, so you, that'd be, and I'm just picking up a few carcasses out there.
You'll find too that seals, their pups go way up into the bush.
Yes, they do. Because I remember when Fraser was alive, we did put a whole lot of shelters up there for these babies because the weather was so rough, they were dying from the
That's
weather.
what they push.
So there's a whole lot of things up there. It's not just the plants and insects, there's sea lions. Yeah. And it took taken a long time for those numbers to come back the way down. Because there was only just a couple when I was tracking.
We don't appreciate it in this country. It's beautiful.
Yes.
We're the problem. So we need to make sure everybody else is recognising
Put aside.
what's going to be lost.
On the seashore, do it.
Yeah, make sure it's in the water so that you have to wait.
That's all the folks around here, what I do.
Turn the line.
I just leave it out.
The reports for knowing that had a declaration week.
Okay.
We could close 159.
Oh, yeah, 159 can be, I was going to
Yes,
say.
come operational.
And it says the best updates every quarter, and I think every quarter or every 6 months for the Marae to report back, because I goes to the emergency shelter.
I wrote something again regarding that whole emergency car type situation. And I'm wondering whether we should have a more collaborative approach and, like sort of situation on the situation in Richmond. Like, I think he had been given a lot of support through that wellbeing fund and
Truly the speed maybe, not organized.
yeah, well, that's what I'm getting at. That's what I'm
Which isolated marae, which marae is isolated?
So this goes back to, I can tell you how this happened, but, and it was because when council went to the marae, they were advised that it was being looked like a lot of stuff was being looked at through iwi, and through, and that, so this is a couple of years ago, and that, whereas Hauriki said, yes, we'd love your help because we're no. So we didn't have the same, you know, it was a different strokes, if you like, and that, so, but that was a few years ago, and I know that was why the original funding that went through with the, and I think it was just after COVID, that Hauriki got that grant, and through, like, and the council helped them work it, but that was because, like, Kanu wanted to work on several marae together to put through something, so and I believe so did Lansani, and so that was why when they were approached, the marae, like, calling like back in I think it was, that there was funding from the government for projects, and
Yeah, that was the Orana Marae.
Last year, there was conversation.
So I'm going back a few years.
Yeah, that was way.
I'm going back a few years, but I know that was where, so the original, there was, that's why the funding, so with Hauriki and about the state of life. It was different, they didn't have the same support, you know, like, yeah.
Conversations that happened when I came on Standing Committee last year would have been, there was no Hauriki in the conversation. So it was just annoying marae in the conversation. And then what happened is we actually spoke up for Hauriki. And he said, what about our Hauriki? So the conversations for the funding was actually annoying. And we actually mentioned Hauriki, what about them? So that's when the term marae was spoken about last year. So, and then this is happening. It doesn't matter. It's all right, we support them because we have another thing. Yeah, about the container.
So this is about.
So it already had been promised last year and talked about last year. But then we thought the conversation. Yeah.
That's getting up. Water tanks and.
That's not what I.
Yeah.
We don't.
And the solar, and that was what we guys were looking at too.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and we didn't get a grant for the solar.
Was that through the council?
I'm not sure.
Was that through?
But it was, we applied for it, and that came under that same thing as, because it was going to be the emergency sector.
It's just that I haven't seen anything through the community grant.
Yes.
So it's just like community grant funding, and I don't believe that you guys have come through yet.
Yeah, well,
It went through, might have went through.
yeah, he applied for it. I know David applied for it too. Because we just got a big thing to say.
It's through the island, something like that.
No, it's
Council.
So,
It was a wellbeing fund was in regarding the solar stuff.
Yeah.
If I remember rightly, we were asked.
so you guys put the application through. And then we put the application through.
But what
That
I,
was for the.
And wallet.
but what I was getting at was the fact that all marae should be supported and we
Yeah,
are.
yeah.
So, yeah.
So you see the one that's only the only one close up to the coast that.
Yeah.
All the legal area.
I just.
Yeah, well, there's other
Very
people out
vulnerable.
there who are isolated down here as well.
Yeah.
And same with public. And
Not as bad as what we are out
So
there.
what we're trying, what I'm believing that what we should try to do is ensure that
One coming for
all
us.
on the same page,
And get
to
it.
be able to
Consent, the
all of
board,
them to be able to, and there's that emergency.
Yeah.
Or fund, and it has to be community, because. Whatever.
Yeah, because I don't see the isolation of Māori.
Oh, the isolation of Māori, it isn't so much an isolation of Māori, it's of the people who
Yeah,
up the coast.
yeah, but,
Who can't.
yeah,
get
but
back.
one is not as isolated as Māori.
But I can't get back here.
In the situation where they can't go home. Yeah. Where did they go?
Yeah, because we had that through Gabriel.
Yeah,
They
they,
had to go home, but our marae was available.
Yeah, it's not just about, don't make it about the marae. Make it about what the purpose is.
it is
That's
about
what I
one.
think. Yeah, but it's about supporting all.
But that's okay, we'll carry on with the conversation now. We already got talks happening, how we can help our more out.
That's three point marae.
Yeah,
Must be no.
but we already got conversations between.
So you got an answer, you got something from.
How we can get that done to us.
Yeah, that's from the,
Yeah, but there's the welfare,
yeah, that's from the wellbeing part.
the other day. Also picks up the kitchen.
That was to do with
It's
their plan, and so that was the plan for.
Part of the line to fix for the line.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's just the normal everyday stuff.
Yeah,
But you know,
It's okay. We don't care.
The YouTube action 155, because we have this already done, which can talk to everybody.
Not close to council officers to see if Māori Standing can offer Kiwi Law to one another family trust free of charge.
did anything happen with that? Are they still looking, or have they gone somewhere else?
So through you, Chair, they are still looking, they didn't want the Kiwi horses. Or yeah,
it's too cold.
colonial, all the staring.
And those things, those photos around the wall, who wants to be in here?
No, it was just because they were fenced in group that was council owned.
Yeah.
So that's why, you know, it's like when they came to us, that we could offer.
Yeah.
So I guess if they're not wanting to use the council,
For free.
they will be really, so that's what they came out with the action, because that was what we could offer them, you know what I mean, like that's not.
So we can remove that.
Yeah, I think so. I think
Still
it's-
looking for a suitable venue. feedback.
It's a Kiwi for the aging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I
kind of,
mean, it's just-
That holds on.
yeah.
Yeah,
I just feel like the figures before you get ready.
I think I should just put that as action, because that was.
Often.
We took up that.
And number two, so Bob Thomas, who's the manager of stakeholder relationships, is going to come and speak at the September forum on conflicts of interest. That's all underway.
Three?
So number three is on hold when Marie is away.
Number 3 is on hold.
Until Marita back, it will be actually the signature back down is working.
Yeah, 'cause
I had some points about, I have some queries around that whole situation.
what's that?
In regarding the white report, the purpose of it,
It's
Who's
for
going to
the
be-
use of the council,
who's going to be looking after it,
the council.
who's going to be doing the karakia, if the whānau want to be able to have that understanding at the tikanga of taking it out, putting it back in the case. On what occasions could it be?
So it was
the council
only for,
want-
that was only for ceremonies, that was being looked at for, like the special ceremonies, like, what is it? when you have-
Like the citizenship stuff.
Yeah, so for the citizenship ceremonies, you know, for occasions, right, like the big occasions, and that was what, because I was in the room when he came to talk about this, and quite away, and so, but he wanted to give it, so that way it was there for any mayor to be able to use.
And we
And
have
it's not
something,
a gift from Manasila, yeah.
yeah, and its name is Hikawira.
Yeah, that's, All I'm
Yeah,
saying
well,
is
no,
to keep people safe and you go to the door side.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, the reality is it's not really a purua, it's a carpet because it's got feathers on it.
Yeah.
And it's only this long.
Oh, yeah, nice.
So it's not really a purua, it's a
Yeah.
carpet.
Yeah.
So purua, do you not get
It's
feathers?
not gonna need as bigger.
Yeah, it's not gonna need a huge case. And it's not made of muka, so easier to care for, it's cotton.
And so does the council have an understanding of how they.
Yeah, because they're getting a box design for it.
Yeah.
So it can go in, so it will be airtight, protected, and it will sit at the council, not here. So someone's got their eyes on it all the time. It's careful.
Yeah, he was hoping that.
And it's been controlled at the council.
Yeah, it's saying the one in the centre on here.
Yeah, that was his, his hope, he wanted it to be here, so so looking beautiful when people
Yeah.
hang around with it, you know. But
Yeah,
hey,
it's
it's
different on
to the council by the microphone, you know. like-
Yeah, it's just that it won't be safe here, it won't be
No.
temperature controlled here, it can be at the council.
Because these rooms can all be rented out. And
Yes,
just
and
have
we've
government
got everybody
safety, which is
coming in.
why. So, undertake it at the council instead of the. But that was the dream because waiting at. You know, he went in and spoke about. The name. The spelling.
So
Yeah,
is
well,
that,
you know,
so is that Toronto? Can be down and. It's like the case.
yeah, you know,
I think there has to be like a little part that says, you know,
You would
the
have
name
to.
line, yeah, it's a key.
who would be, maybe.
Well, Narita was gonna take care of getting that stuff done because
So we need to work
we're
out.
not in a time, sorry.
We need to work out what is said on the park, and I think that.
Yeah,
Really
Go
would be
back to-
able to sort that.
Yeah, and we could just, you know, so it's what food over
Yeah,
Yeah, she does.
yeah, she's gonna have to talk to.
and she'll put it all to the whānau out at Hinaka.
Yeah.
And find that, she'll do everything. But she said she could.
To make sure that she, yes, yeah.
And on that day, there's gonna be a whole lot, there'll be kaumātua here that will be blessing it. There'll be whānau here that will be blessing it. And it'll be brought in by Uncle Langy's moko. She'll be bringing it in and handing it over.
All that detail needs to be put down.
Yeah, and it will be, so we've got to wait for everybody to come back and we can write that stuff down.
And see back on the members. Which she did a date down on September.
Well, that's the day we changed to do it. To hold it, I think it meant to be the 7th, not the 9th. Because the basic don't get a Yeah.
Someone said that?
Yeah, the 7th of September was the date we decided. And we can hear around. So our church wanted the 28th of July and next thing going to come. Because it was like the week after we heard from them. Yeah, so there's Uncle Langa's birthday or something, yeah. You know, I think it's going to be Father's Day. But yeah, we're still working on those stuff and everything, we're really actually, it's like, we'll find out what the box of the beach are gonna be, because she knows what the measurements of the carpet is. So, yeah.
One eighty four is still open.
So a lot of those are very, so.
One more thing.
Yeah.
One more.
So.
So for you, Chair, I will introduce the and to put in the two of the things from the two we talked about already. And the other one is to do with this building and Karen said to move it to the September forum to talk about it then, or we can actually talk about it.
Yeah, without being recorded. Okay. 3.2, we will now move to the members' report by Mayor Martin Conley on advising Amber Craig to provide a brief of the Hana, it's spelled wrong, it's supposed to be AIDS, not used. A co-housing project next. Do I have a mover to receive the living report from Mayor Martin?
He's moving.
Those in favour, please say aye. Those against? Motion carried. I invite Mayor Martin to talk to his report.
Chair, thank you very much. You really, really good. Had a meeting with and Craig last week, and she introduced me to what the current and I have to say, I was extraordinarily impressed that it possibly helps for those who don't know who Amber is or don't know very well to understand that she was the brains behind the whole SPAC and this set up. She's very able. And what she's put her mind to is a project to create healthy, affordable homes for Gullo and I was just blown away when I listened to what I regard as the really, I've used the word revolution, I think in New Zealand it is. So she is envisaging building homes for about $2,000 or less per square metre. And that is a lot less than what conventional homes to build. And that cost includes both off-grid electricity generation and includes the interior things, shelves, etc. She envisages very fast construction of new homes because it's going to be using modern 3D. That's the challenge, but it's all done on the computer. It doesn't come to one of the other things that's maybe made, but it's also culturally appropriate, is what how it's called kind of housing. You've got a number of houses where people sort of live and sleep, maybe got a guy in the middle where everybody comes from.
Yeah, you're living on Papa Klein.
Yeah.
You went Papa Klein.
It's a solution. I think we've a lot about the argument about how do we recognise the traditional ways that Māori often do things. Other things that I can say is dealing with most. Before Pākehā and Māori had a full situation, Pākehā, however, have been very opposed to their full situation because of currently it's flammable. But anyway, Amber been working with people to work out a way to make it inflammable. But she's also thinking about how we build it, like, which doesn't sort of wreck the land underneath the house, which is pretty much what every house does. She has got some interesting ideas for dealing with waste generating power. I just focus on waste because it's a big deal of the issue. What she is proposing here is that every house has its own electric place. So that at the end of a week or whatever, you end up full of actually quite useful. So that you don't waste too much. I think we the way of the future. And she's said, look, you can read much more about what the length there. I've indicated that it is becoming misled by them, but it will be known to many people. But she is working in conjunction with Victoria School of Architecture, looking at technology fabrication. And basically, the proposal is that she would understand just have a and it's got to be current much better to come to a fourth meeting than this. And that's my proposal thing. Get her along and see what she has. It's my star.
Sorry. That's mentioned. But that. So I got any comment for?
I do, it's process like a 2 month, it's been split.
Yes.
Sort of. Yeah. Still be sensible, like here, don't they?
Yeah, and I think Mata Wedman going into there, because he ran around to all of us, Mana Whenua, to see if we approved if he did that, or if one of us would come in. So he came through and did that, because he told us about it in the weekend.
He's done it for both of them.
Yeah.
Both of them.
Yeah, I ran, spoke.
Yeah.
Stuff. But you know, it's a public space.
Yeah. And okay, Mariah, because we naturally just do that anyway, it's easy. But we never like to park like this lady. And you gotta be clear.
Yeah.
And I think we discussed,
Yeah.
discussed.
We're working on that.
Just say,
It was raised briefly, like, yeah. we-
And luckily Martin will be so close.
Yeah.
And they're on.
Over the last few weeks.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it comes, yeah, in this, because the fact that it's a public space, and, you know,
Clear.
so as far as we need, it needs to be clear.
Okay, so
Keep everyone safe.
keep everyone safe. Take care of you.
Sure. Oh, that's what my mum can tell.
No, the movie. Rock. Okay, sorry about that. We're moving on. No, we don't have any resolution over the election. Thank you, everyone. There being no further business, I declare this Hui tonight closed. And I invite Jamie to finish the meeting.
No, just like the minutes you left.
Oh, we don't get to dinner at some point. Yeah, that way. It's not.
Madam, is this where all the information is on this thing? On the next one?